All right, everybody, so I removed my hard top. Just makes it easier to get around and wiggle around, and takes barely any time anyway. So I got that off, and now the next step here, we have these guys that come with the dash and these little splicing connectors. There should be 3 of them. And basically, if you have a car that is pre-2008 and you have a Toyota engine, it is, from my understanding, that you will need one of these guys, and it's an adapter because your stock, these stock units, they won't fit in your new dash. And this is really simple. It looks scary because you see wires and you think, oh great, I have to cut wires, that sort of thing. But that's where these guys come into play. Oops. And if you're unfamiliar with how this little, I think they're called like a splicing connector. If you're unfamiliar how these work, you can look on YouTube. There's plenty of videos about them. Just look up splicing connectors. But the simplest way to describe it is, let's pretend that this orange wire here is the stock orange wire on the car. So you slide the orange wire, oops, it's hard to do with one hand. Slide the orange wire through this connector like that, and then if the red wire here is the new one that you wanted to connect from this adapter here, you take the end of this red one, oops, and you place it into this connector. So showing you a little closer here, trying to get it in focus. So you can see that this end of this connector, it's blocked off. This end closer to my thumb here, it's blocked off. And so that's where this new wire will go. You'll put it in there. The next step, you use a pliers and you squeeze this little metal clip down. So squeeze that down and it'll pinch the 2 wires, and what it does is it creates a really thin cut, I guess, in the wires, and that's what creates your connection between the 2 wires. After that, this little red piece right here folds over, so you'll fold that over, and we'll be demonstrating that a little bit more in a minute here, but that's just the basics of how this works. And so what you're gonna do is plug this end of this guy into your dash, and then this end connects to the stock one here with the blue, and then you match these 3 wires up. So you have orange, yellow, or orange, red, and blue, and so you connect those with those splice connectors, and you're good to go. And then if you're wondering what goes into this port, it's for this USB little joystick thing. And so you plug that into the other port on your new dash. And then from there, it's just, you know, doing all the steps in reverse and putting everything back together. One thing to note, once you have the dash in, don't get all rushed and put everything back together. What you're gonna wanna do is get it mounted up there, then obviously connect your battery again, and you're gonna wanna, you know, turn it on and make sure that everything's operating as it should and as you expect, and then proceed with putting your mess back together. So that's this step, and that's probably the most involved step of this whole thing, and it's really not a whole lot of work. It seems scary with the wires and stuff. That kind of stuff tends to scare me, but it's really not too bad.